we're going to explain how to remove a filter field from a pivot table. This is a common task, and thankfully, it's pretty straightforward. There are two main ways to do this, depending on whether you want to remove the filter permanently or temporarily. 1. Temporarily removing a filter. The easiest way to get rid of a filter is simply to clear its selections. Let's say you have a filter on region, and you've selected only North. To remove the filter, just click on the drop-down arrow next to the region filter field in your pivot table. You'll see a list of the filtered regions and a check mark next to North. Click on the check mark. This will deselect North, and the filter will effectively be cleared, showing all regions again. Multiple filter selections, simply uncheck all selected options. This doesn't delete the filter field itself. It only clears the current selection, allowing you to see all the data again. 2. Permanently removing a filter field. This removes the filter field entirely from the pivot table. To do this, find the field you want to remove in the pivot table's field list. This is usually found in the pivot table fields pane, often located on the right side of the Excel window. You might need to turn it on if it's not visible, which is often done by clicking on Pivot Table Analyze tab, and then selecting Fields, Items, and Sets. See all the fields available for your pivot table. Locate the field you used as a filter, the one you want to remove. Drag that field from the Filters area of the pivot table fields pane out of the section, which will usually place it back into the Columns, Rows, or Values areas, or simply into the Available Fields section if you don't want to reuse the field at all. This will remove that field's filtering functionality from your pivot table completely. Removing it from the Fields area permanently removes the filtering options associated with that field. Make sure you're working with the correct pivot table. If you have multiple pivot tables, verify you are modifying the desired one. If the field is not in the Filters area, it is already removed as a filter, and nothing needs to be done. If you choose to move it back into a Row, Column, or Values section, this will now add this field as a row, column, or value field, respectively, to the table, no longer functioning as a filter. 3. Understanding the difference. It's crucial to understand the difference between these two methods. Clearing a filter temporarily removes its restrictions on the data displayed, while removing a filter field permanently deletes the filtering capabilities for that specific field in your pivot table. Choose the method that best suits your needs depending on whether you want to temporarily hide certain data based on your filters or permanently change the structure of your pivot table's filters. If you later decide you need that filter again, you can always drag it back into the Filters area of the pivot table fields pane.